As long as I can remember, or as my husband would say, as long as I know for myself, which is kind of I think a translation of a Serbian saying, so even the translation might be a little off. So as long as I can remember, I've been shy. And I don't know when that started, because I've heard stories from my mom about me being a very engaging baby. And there's this one story that she tells me that kind of just sticks in my head about me being a little baby and just being cute and all. And there was this little boy who thought I was really cute, I guess, like just a couple years older than me, or maybe, I don't even know how old he was, I don't remember, but apparently he was like playing with me, making faces, that kind of thing, from like at a food court or something. So like he was a few tables away, but he was like making faces and I guess engaging with me. And so then I apparently went from being happy and cute to throwing up in like the next second, and it caught the kid completely by surprise, and he like looked away and was disgusted, I guess, and didn't engage with me again for the rest of the time. I don't really know if that's what caused me to be shy. Probably wasn't just one incident or anything, but at some point I became shy. I remember my mom was my school nurse, and I remember sitting in her nurse's clinic and other teachers' kids, well, she wasn't my teacher, but other like teachers would come in, because her nurse's clinic was also, I think, where, if I remember right, is where they would go and get their mail. Like, so teachers would come in, check their mailbox, and a lot of times they'd bring, like if they had kids, they would bring their kids with them. And I remember this one teacher coming in, and she brought her daughter along who was my age in my class, and I just kind of looked down at the floor and didn't engage with her, because I kind of thought she didn't like me or something, or I was afraid to. And when they left, my mom said that the girl was trying to catch my eye to say hi, or that she'd even said, "Hi, Rachel," and I just was ignoring her. So how long have I been doing stuff like that? Just completely disengaging from people out of fear? Too long is the answer. I've even observed this behavior in my own family, perpetuating awkwardness between family members that I haven't seen in a long time, especially the younger ones. So I have these cousins who are significantly younger than me. The oldest is 15 years younger than me. I was there, not when he was born, but shortly after. I remember him being a newborn. And then he's got younger sisters who are twins, who are also, I think they're like 18 years younger than me, so significantly younger. And as they've gotten older and become more middle and high school aged and becoming a little bit more, I don't know if it's socially awkward or socially aware or just less open. What is it about us growing up that makes us not nearly as open as we were when we were children? Sure, it's not everyone. Like, my mom could talk to a wall. She's very friendly and talkative to anybody, strikes up conversations with strangers. So it's not everyone, but it seems like our generation more and more, and the generations after us, are becoming more and more withdrawn and reserved. I prefer to label myself as reserved rather than shy. I've overcome a lot of my shyness over time, but as my younger cousins are becoming more reserved with age, I notice that reaction in myself, especially with my older cousin, the cousin, he's not older than me, but the older of the younger cousins, the one who's 15 years younger than me. He's in high school now, And he's so-called a cool kid from all the labels that I have been raised with, where he's an athlete, he's a really good football player, baseball player, star athlete. He also does powerlifting, so he's super physically fit. He's kind of everything that was labeled, and he's also really smart. Like, he does super well in school. He's just kind of like an enviable kid, like best all around. And while I was good in school, I was a band kid. I was always like, I don't know, feeling out of place. I had a lot of acne. I had braces in middle school, and I just felt out of place in high school and kind of identified with the nerds or whatever. And so I find that when I'm interacting with him, I find that in myself, that insecurity from high school in him when I'm talking to him. But he has given me no reason to even feel insecure. I'm pretty sure he looks up to me. Like, we've always had such a great relationship. And I know he thinks my husband's really cool because my husband's an athlete and gets a lot of those has similar interests or knows how to talk to him about that kind of stuff. Whereas I don't really know much about that. And so I have a hard time finding similar topics of conversation, which is another reason for me to feel somewhat insecure. But you know, he's also a teenager, and teenagers be teenagers. But all that to say is that that's not how I want to be living my life, is being nervous to talk to my own cousins because of some weird fear that's not even my own fear. I don't think it's just something that's in my subconscious mind to make me be a certain way, and that's just it's not who I am deep down. That's something I have become at one point, but I wasn't born this way. I wasn't born shy. I became shy, and now I refuse to be shy anymore. I think there is value in being quiet and reflective, introverted person. I'm not saying I wish to stop being that way, but living life in fear is not how I want to be either. I heard this great acronym by one of my teachers. I don't know if he coined it or if he just likes to say it, but he says, fear is false evidence appearing real. And I try to remember that as often as I can, because that is very wise. How much of our fear is based on reality? Fear is a survival instinct, and it's valuable to have fear. Back in our caveman days, it's smart for us to fear a lion or fear a poisonous plant or something like that. Fear keeps us alive, but it also shouldn't rule us. As the Bene Gesserits say in the Dune series, fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings about total obliteration. I don't remember the whole litany of fear, but I do remember the part that says, I let my fear wash over me and run through me, and when it has run its course, only I remain. So what I get out of that is that it's important to become aware of our fears, acknowledge them, let them run its course, but don't let them rule us. Don't let them kill our mind, as it were. Don't let our fear take us over and make us be who we're not. Let our fear run its course, let it go, and then we remain. without our fear, or our fear more acknowledged and in its place, but not where we are making our decisions out of.